Hey guys, welcome in. It's Brian from the Sportscast here, and I had to get on here and talk about the Shedeur Sanders freefall. All right, because that is the main story of the draft. The main takeaway that everyone's going to remember from this draft is the Shedeur Sanders freefall, and I think it's kind of hilarious. That has happened, because this guy is so arrogant and, people want to bring race or whatever into this BS, and that's absolute trash to do that. You had a lot of, Cam Ward was the first overall pick, and he's an African American. So it has nothing to do with race. It has the fact to do with the question marks of his talent and being an NFL quarterback and the arrogance he has about himself and the circus that comes along with it. And you add all three of those into the equation, and is it worth it at the end of the day? And we're going to talk about it here. So Shedeur Sanders went to Jackson State, then he went to Colorado the last 2 seasons, and he put up decent numbers last year. He had 37 touchdowns, 4 rushing. He had 10 interceptions, and he threw for over 4,000 yards. So he had a decent year. Colorado got into being a ranked football team, but other than that, that was about it. And there's a lot of question marks about the talent he has as far as being an NFL quarterback, his timing, taking big sacks a lot, playing a lot of hero ball, and you can't do that in the NFL. It's going to get you hurt. It's going to get your team's going to lose games. It's not going to be a successful part of it. Now, another knock of him is just Big 12 competition, right? If you're not playing, and they say SEC is going to be the NFL type of competition, the Alabamas and the Georgias, and you're playing against a lot of NFL guys because a lot of those guys get drafted from those teams. So it's going up against smaller competition. You're going to bring in the circus with him. His dad's Deion Sanders. We all know about Deion Sanders. He's brash, he's arrogant, he's cocky, but he backed it up on the football field, and it worked out for him. But so his son is going to be the same way. He's brash, he's cocky, he's arrogant. The talent is not there as far as like a Deion Sanders, right? Deion Sanders is one of the best to ever play the game, and Shedeur Sanders is just not there, talent-wise. And so here's a guy and this is not just my opinion of him. This has come out leaked from behind the scenes. Was a horrible interview. He was a horrible interview. This is not that they draft a guy based on talent and their interview and their combine, right? And Shedeur refused to do a combine, and he was a terrible interview. And they interview and they ask questions and they do all those things to see what kind of character the guy has, right? Because character does matter. And he refused to talk to some football teams. They have a list of teams they don't want to play for. Like, it gets comical at that point. He thought he was too big for his britches, and teams wanted to talk to him, and he refused to talk to him and told them, "I'm good, bro. I don't need to talk to you. Get out of here." They said it came off brash, arrogant. Reports were the worst quarterback interview they've ever seen. So it's no surprise here that he fell off. Now, it is a surprise that he fell off as much as he did. We were thinking second round when we would do the live draft and the Giants move back into the first round. We go, okay, here it is. He's going to get taken. They take Jackson Dart. And it came to the point where people were taking every quarterback but him. Now he's better than Jalen Milroe, in my opinion. Maybe Will Howard. I'm not sure. Will Howard did play for Ohio State and was pretty successful there. But is he going to be better than Will Howard? We'll have to see. So it did come to a point where it's like maybe the NFL got together, the owners, and conclude in collusion against him. And maybe they did. But that's their right, I guess. They're owners. They got to make the best pick possible for their teams. And they weren't willing to put up with the circus and everything that comes with him, with his arrogance, his attitude. He's calling out his offensive line and players, teammates that's not doing a good job. He's calling them out in the media. You can't do that in the NFL. You come in and do that in the NFL, you got big problems. So there's a lot of question marks about him, about his character, about how he presents himself and everything like that. So I hope that Shedeur eats a little humble pie here, taken in the 5th round, and works hard to change that image and become a good teammate and become a good character guy where he's not calling out his players. And we'll see. We're going to see that the Browns made an interesting choice by taking 2 quarterbacks in the draft. I think he's probably better than the Oregon quarterback. But let's be real with it, okay? If his talent was not a question mark, it would not matter what his cocky arrogance, whatever, came about. Deion Sanders was that way, right? He was going through interviews, and the Giants had like the 12th or 10th pick, and they gave him a big, huge book to read. And he said, "Excuse me, what pick do you guys have?" And he said, "We're number 12." And he gave it back to him and said, "I don't need to read that because I'm not going to be there by the time you're drafting. So I'll see you later." Cocky, arrogant, right? Like that comes off as like, "Oh wow, this guy's full of himself." But he backed it up. He had the talent. There was not the question mark of talent. Talent. If Shedeur Sanders was that talented, and there wasn't going to be any questions about if he's going to make a good NFL quarterback, he would have been drafted 1st round because winning solves a lot of issues. And if they think this guy is going to win for them at the most important position in football, they're going to draft him regardless of his arrogance and cockiness or whatever you want to call this. So if his talent wasn't a question, he would have been drafted a lot earlier. That's hands down. No questions about it. But you add in the question marks of his to be an NFL quarterback. You add in the circus he's going to bring with him and his dad. And you add his arrogance and how bad he did in the interviews. No wonder he dropped. Now, no one foresaw the drop of being the pick in the 5th round. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters about being picked in the 5th round is his paycheck. And he can still obviously outwork where he was picked, and we're all going to be watching to see if he does good or bad and with Cleveland and is he going to progress and become that NFL quarterback that he so thinks he's going to be. And maybe he will. Maybe he will. Maybe Cleveland got a steal in the draft. Only time will tell, though. All right, guys. Well, that's my opinion and my take on it. Let me know what you think. God bless. And remember, keep it outspoken.